Good afternoon on this beautiful Thursday at Softball City. It is another elimination type game. I don't know, Joe. I don't like calling it the loser's bracket as much anymore. I don't know if we're going to change it to the repechage round. I'm not sure I love that phrase either, but I do know this. In the matchup we're about to watch between the Waterdown Hammer and the AWP Lumberjacks, for both teams, they must win in order to keep their tournament title hopes alive, as we've fallen now to 14 teams after the exciting extra inning victory by the Toronto Batmen over STK Fastball out of Chase, BC. That's the amount of teams still left in the hope of being the champion here on Saturday night. You had a very quick look at one lineup, and we must start this way. Okay. AWP, Joe, they won the coin flip, but they have elected to bat first, not last, which generally is the case.
Very aggressive coaching style.
Well, I know Blair and I, it would have been a great conversation for the airwaves. Battered it around a little bit, literally, and here's Valdi Terkelson, the pride of Copenhagen, Denmark, who takes from the starting pitcher, who is Clayton Robinson. Robinson is 2-0 in the tournament. He's pitched 13 and a third, given up 2 runs, 5 hits. He struck out 20 and walked 4. As Terkelson fouls it off the screen towards the third base dugout. Great to have you with us on this beautiful day. As I've mentioned it a few times, Joe, this week. As the days go on, the tournament gets better and better and better.
And so is the weather.
See, well, it is today.
Yeah.
That is without much question. Terkelson is an impressive 4 for 7 here this week, with a double and a run batted in and a swing and a miss on what looked to be a high drop from the right arm of Clayton Robinson. And what can you add on Robinson in terms of your viewings of him in the past?
Well, the drop is his pitch, and he'll throw it at 3 different heights, and he's got a great changeup.
High in the air, Curtis Roots takes care of business, and there is 1 out in the top of the first.
Defensively for the Waterdown Hammer, in left field, Curtis Roots, center field, Jordy Gagnon, right field, Derek Erb, around the corner, hot corner, David Barraclough, Josh Broman at shortstop, Riley Coverdale at second base, Dylan Cunningham at first base, Nick Moore catching, Clayton Robinson on the mound.
Argentine national team member Federico Eder attempts to lay down a bunt. Has great bat control and excellent eye. Federico is 3 for 10 at Softball City with a run batted in. 2 for 4 against Grand Prairie in their last game. AWP started with a 9-0 victory over Pegasus. The Redmen then lost a heartbreaker to Grand Prairie 6-5 before beating the Emory Electric Chargers of Victoria by a count of 12-2 in their most recent game, as Eder pops up for out number 2 into the glove of Josh Broman.
Clayton Robinson doing a good job staying around that pitcher's plate.
Well, batting first is a great idea if you put some pressure on the opponent and score first. But 2 quick outs registered by Robinson. And now facing Team USA member Cody Pannebecker on the all-name team. And he's from Denver, but not Colorado, Pennsylvania. He's 3 for 9 with a double, a triple, and 3 runs batted in. And at second base again today for the Lumberjacks, as he had a swing and a miss on that high rise this time from Robinson. The Waterdown Hammer have a record. They've played 1 more game after losing their first contest. So they've come back with 3 straight victories and are 3-1. They lost to the Pueblo Bandits, but rallied for wins over Westside, the Seattle Dirt Dogs, and the Midland Explorers in their most recent game by a score of 3-1. And waving at Robinson's pitch without a whole lot going for him was Pannebecker. So you could not, Joe, have a much better start than the Waterdown Hammer just delivered in the top of the first.
Clayton Robinson threw a very minimal quantity of pitches.
They'll bat when we return. On the losers bracket side in a must-win scenario for both here at Softball City.
Well hit, deep right field, it's curving. This one, well hit to deep right field this time, and that one is gone. Trying to put it away is Jack Besgrove. The New York Gremlins are world champions.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
Start spreading the news, Joe Todd.
Joe, as we deal with the umbrella and the wonderful people here trying to help us out at Softball City, we can tell you that there is the Waterdown Hammer lineup. And when you take a look at that lineup, do one or two individuals jump out at you?
Dylan Cunningham at first base, good power hitter. Josh Broman, good leadoff batter, got a great eye at the plate. Nick Moore, always consistent at the plate. Dave Barraclough, batting ninth. Very tough out.
Well, the starting pitcher for AWP is Bradley Kilpatrick, a Team USA member, although job commitments will keep him out of the upcoming Group C event qualifier in Oklahoma City in the middle of September. And Broman with back-to-back swings and misses on Kilpatrick, who is 1-0 in the tournament. He's pitched 8 2/3, given up 3 runs, 9 hits, struck out 13, and walked 1. The majority of the damage against him was done in the loss to the Grand Prairie Pirates by a score of 6-5. And it was a whale of a game a couple of days ago.
Great ball game. We called them the cardiac kids. The game was going back and forth, back and forth. Grand Prairie finally coming away with a victory.
Well, Broman is off to a very impressive start, although he goes down swinging. He was 7 for 14 going into that at-bat. But when Kilpatrick is right, and I've somewhat nicknamed him this week the Nibbler.
Great name.
He can be very, very difficult. He's not overpowering, good movement. He's one of those guys for me, as I mentioned, he nibbles. And location, Joe, I think for him is as important as almost anything. Movement always matters greatly when you're in the circle as well.
Works very hard at hitting that mitt all the time.
Jordy Gagnon from Saskatoon. Always have a soft spot for somebody from that part of the world.
I would think so.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
3 for 13. This forces Kilpatrick to barehand it. And when you're a lefty, you have to spin. It's a much easier play for a right-hander, but Kilpatrick makes it well to retire Gagnon on his way towards first base for out number 2. So both pitchers, Robinson and Kilpatrick, working effectively as we do indeed take our first glance at Dylan Cunningham at home plate. 6 for 13 here. 2 home runs, 5 runs batted in. Up the middle, this a tester, and dropped, booted, kicked by Federico Eder, who might have actually, Joe, because Cunningham doesn't have blazing speed, might have been able to take that ball conventionally and made the play.
Probably. I think he anticipated that Cunningham had a lot more quicker wheels going down that line.
So we'll await the scoring as far as that would be a hit or an error.
There's the replay on that play. Kick the ball again.
And Kilpatrick with the game's first base runner on an error to Etter, who played for his national team earlier this year in a World Cup event in Prince Albert at second base. And a swing and pulled foul towards the dugout by right fielder Derek Erb, who is from Moncton, Ontario, not Moncton, New Brunswick. And in fact, the spellings are different. Moncton, Ontario is Monkton. He's 2 for 9 with a triple and a run batted in. Kilpatrick comes up with a rise, and it's going to go off the roof. And not sure where it ended up.
Moncton in a great fastball area back in southwestern Ontario. In that Mitchell, about 10 miles north of Mitchell.
Thank you for clarifying. In fact, Mr. Todd, I was going to ask you that very question. Although
the Moncton tournament back in the 90s was one of the events to go to. Always on July 1st weekend.
Yeah, I've had that conversation, in fact, even this year about that, as Kirkpatrick delivers his second strikeout. We're under the umbrella. Literally. The game isn't. On a beautiful day at Softball City.
How confident are you in your organization's security posture? If your answer isn't 100%, you're not alone. Most organizations aren't doing enough to protect their data, and they know it. With Armitage Technology, you can stop worrying about IT security issues so you can focus on moving your business forward. Our experienced staff monitor and maintain your IT infrastructure to keep your business running. Visit us at armitagetech.com and make your technology work for your business.
He came from Australia with a superstar pedigree. And from his first ISC in 2003, you knew he was going to be something special. 6 times All-World, a 3-time ISC champion, and now the first Aussie inducted into the ISC Hall of Fame. From counting materials and the farm in Wisconsin, to Kitchener, to finding a home in the New York Gremlins colors. Congratulations, Jeff Goolagong, from all of us.
Joe, is that the Doug Roberts collection?
That is exactly what that is.
My goodness. I heard that on the way into the park, and isn't that something? You know, at some point this week, and he was honored during the opening ceremonies, Doug Roberts of the Vancouver and British Columbia area has given so much to this game. He loves it with every ounce of his fiber as Jonathan Lynch bounces the game's first hit into left field to open the second for the AWP Lumberjacks.
Clayton Robinson had that ball on the outside part of the plate. Lynch willing to take that ball the other way.
Yeah, that's a quality piece of hitting. This is a good pitch by Robinson.
Yeah, nothing wrong at all.
Well, they changed the lineup card. We knew it was coming. At one point today, to just shed a little light, there was 2 Federico Etters on the card. They missed this gentleman, who is another Federico, but Olizer, they're both from Argentina, both national team members. And Olizer is 4 for 8. He's doubled, he's homered, and he's driven in 3, and the ball gets away from catcher Nick Moore, which allows Jonathan Lynch, a 2-time All-World member in his own right at the ISC World Tournament, to move up into scoring position. So that's the first player to do that early in the game.
The importance of working hard when you've got a runner on base, pitcher-catcher combination.
See how Robinson and the Waterdown Hammer respond. That's a nice pitch that ties up Olizer, who was 5 for 12 here last year with 3 runs batted in. Pretty impressive for his country in Prince Albert in the WBSC event back in early July, where he was 5 for 10. And helped Argentina to their first ever men's world title in 2019, of which you remember fondly. For the most part, there was one little situation that we're not going to get into that you and I did before the broadcast that might not have been the most fond part of your trip to the beautiful place in our world.
She was a treat. It's a country that and a place that everyone should visit.
It's actually number 1 on my bucket list.
Yes.
It's 1.
I was just amazed at walking off the plane and even driving to the ballpark. My jaw had dropped.
Yeah, the only major city, I believe, in Europe that was untouched by the Second World War.
That is correct.
2-2, a nice changeup from Robinson. They're going to ask, and maybe this is the best time because I know you're always the gentleman who has the umpires handy and ready.
Our umpires are for today's game: Steve Gallagher from Coburg, Ontario on the plate, Gary Johnson from Eau Claire, Wisconsin at first base, and Dave Harrington from Napanee, Ontario at third base.
I knew Joe would have it.
The gentlemen in white, blue, but they're called blue.
Robinson upstairs, and Olizer does go around this time. And Robinson has his second strikeout, and a relatively important one with no one out at the time and a runner in Jonathan Lynch at second base. And here's first baseman Cisco Sabate, 4 for 9 with a home run and 3 runs batted in. His big game was the last one. 4 for 4 against the Emory Electric Chargers, named the best dressed team in the event, and 3 runs batted in.
They did have a sharp uniform, almost a purple and green shade, and a mauve mixed in there and some gray. It was just eye-catching.
Well, apparently you weren't the only one who thought so, because they were named the best dressed team. Yeah, they were hard to take your eyes off of. It depends on your style, whether you love the combo or not. A ball and a strike to Cisco Sabate. And Clayton Robinson has not been afraid to come in, and I don't think you can be to have any kind of success, whether you're in the circle or on a mound with a ball in your hand trying to get batters out.
You have to be willing to go in.
The rise ball has been pretty effective too, even though, Joe, it might not be number 1 or number 2 in his arsenal.
No, exactly correct. That rise has been jumping today.
Jumping and effective. As he'll settle in and deliver. And a little bit of a slingshot that time. We've seen Toronto Batman and Canadian national team member Ty Sebastian go down that road. And now it's Clayton Robinson's turn. Just a bit of a different look.
And you'll see that probably 3 or 4 times throughout the game.
I like it.
Well, it just throws off the batter's timing. He's looking for that same release point. Not always there on different pitching styles.
Robinson, the inside corner. And he has back-to-back strikeouts. And in fact, in the tournament, he's now up to 22. So he has pitched very well for the Waterdown Hammer.
Hammer now down into their 4th game of the tournament.
I believe would this not be number 5? I think they were 3-1 coming in.
Oh, that's correct. They played 4. You are correct. Exactly. This is game number 5. Yeah, they played 2 on Monday.
Yeah, they lost their opener to Pueblo.
And that was a 10-inning loss.
Yes. And then have rolled off 3 in a row to keep their tournament hopes alive. They're one of 14 teams still in search of a title, where the Bear Creek Express and the New York Gremlins, the defending champions, are on the best path, Joe. We have 2 more great games coming your way in the winners bracket Elite 8, and they both, if it is Marco Diaz against Miker Pimental in the game between Hill United,
grab a chair,
and JB, and you like power pitching, buckle up.
Yes, it'll be fun to watch.
Got a good one coming up here next, too. That's the game at 6. This one's starting late, so it feels like it's actually in the 3 o'clock window, but it is the 1 o'clock game. Another important game after this one. I think it's LC Ostrander and the Circle Tap Dukes prior to the
that will be a good tilt, too.
Game.
Yes, exactly. The whole day.
Clayton Robinson is off to a pretty good start. After giving up a single, he strikes out the next 3. 0-0, AWP, the Lumberjacks, and the Hammer from Waterdown.
Owners Nick Shales and Trevor Oakes want to bring the best quality bats to baseball players all over the world. Our pro-grade wood combined with our finish process makes them some of the hardest bats with the biggest pop in the game. Customization is our specialty. We offer a variety of handcrafted models and unlimited design. Visit us at hrdbatco.com. Play hard, swing hard.
Does your game need work? Want to get better every game? Every at-bat? You need Lumberjacks Sports, focusing on exceptional quality and providing players with reliable, long-lasting product. Lumberjacks Sports brings you in-game equipment and off-field workout gear, designed and tested by top fastball player Nick Shales. Hard work, strength, and all-around commitment to getting the job done, and done right, is the motto for Lumberjacks Sports. Learn from the best. Play like the best. Check out lumberjacksports.ca.
Saskatoon's Jordan Hudson to lead things off for the Waterdown Hammer. Jordan has represented his country internationally in a U23 World Cup. He pitches as well as finds himself in the batter's box, where he's off to a nice start here. He's 3 for 6. He has homered. And that homer came against the Midland Explorers in their 3-1 victory, as they have won 3 consecutive games on that side of the bracket after losing in 10 innings to the Pueblo Bandits in their opener.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure Jordan Hudson played in 2016 at Prince Albert in the under-20.
He would have as well. Absolutely. You're 100% correct. Was it 2016 or the 2018 tournament?
18.
The 2018,
yep.
Then it was known as the World Junior Championship. Now it's the U18 World Cup. A chance for Hudson, who swung and missed on the Kirkpatrick pitch. And the catcher behind home plate, maybe this is the time to set the defense for AWP. We did show it to you briefly.
Jonathan Lynch will be in left field. Frank Kimlinger in center. For Aldi Turkelson right field. At the hot corner, Federico Eder. At the shortstop, Federico Olheiser. Cody Panabecker at second base. Cisco Samate at first base. Ivan Sachs at catching. And Brad Kilpatrick on the mound.
And Riley Cloverdale, the batter. the second baseman from Cambridge, Ontario, 3 for 10. He has homered with 3 runs batted in. His homer, a 3-run shot, came in their victory over the Seattle Dirt Dogs. Who would win the name competition, Joe, between the Waterdown Hammer and the Seattle Dirt Dogs?
That's a toss-up. That really is.
Every once in a while, I throw one out there that might make you think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're having a great time this week. I don't have to think long and hard about that. Inside, and Kirkpatrick continues to move it around in good spaces for him. Maybe not so much for the opposition hitters, as he's up to 4 strikeouts and has 3 in a row as he deals with Waterdown Hammer catcher Nick Moore, who's from Listowel, Ontario. 2 for 13. He has a homer. It's like every one of their players has one of them. And his came against Seattle as well in that win. He has hits in his last 2 games. He'd like to continue the trend this afternoon in this must-win contest for both teams to keep their ISC 2024 tournament title hopes alive on a beautiful day in a spectacular facility. With the glasses on, ranging back into the outfield is Eder. It's a quick 1-2-3 inning. We're through 2, looking for the game's first run.
Do you need a reliable supply of products to run your business? Are you tired of having to deal with multiple suppliers to get everything you need? Absolute Business Supply is your dedicated, full-service business supply partner, offering over 400,000 products and unmatched customer service. At ABS, we aren't just selling products. We offer a commitment to building meaningful relationships with our customers, getting to know your business goals so we can provide the best possible solutions for your needs. Find us on the web at absolutebusinesssupply.ca and let us get it for you.
Zero zero in the must-win affair on this side of the bracket. Argentina's Ivan Sachs, the number 8 hitter, to lead things off. And the gentleman in the on-deck circle who's really impressed me this week is Frank Kimlinger, a member of Team USA. And I think he might become a fixture for that country and at this event. He's
great young talent that's really got some big steps ahead of him, but willing to do it. He's worked hard at his game the last 2 years.
Sure looks that way to me. He's made a big impression. I guess when you now, in my case, scout sports for a living, I don't think I can ever go to an event, Joe, without looking at it through that lens. And that's kind of always been the case, I think, for a lot of us as sports people and sports fans, and in my case, forever, longtime sports broadcaster.
Me as a former coach.
You as a former coach. Yeah, always.
Evaluating people.
Always. And you as a longtime boss. And I just talked about being the only employee in my own company and trying to fire myself most of the time these days if others aren't going to do it first. Sachs 4 for 8 at Softball City. He was 3 for 3 with a double and 2 runs batted in the Big 12-2 triumph over the Emory Electric Chargers from Victoria. And Sachs, who's the catcher, asking the home plate umpire about the location of that pitch now that he's in a different spot to watch a ball come to the plate. From that factory that is Paraná and area, Argentina. I don't think they're going anywhere, Joe, as far as staying and remaining as a softball powerhouse.
Yes, exactly. They've got quite the dynasty working around that whole area down there.
Just mentioned him. This is Frank Kimlinger from St. Paul, Minnesota. 6 for 9. 3 doubles, a home run, and 5 runs batted in. He had 2 doubles and 2 runs batted in the first game. He was 2 for 2 against Grand Prairie and 3 for 4 with a home run and 2 runs batted in against Emory.
Watch how quick he turns his hands and rolls his hands over on the wrists.
Well, the throw from Nick Moore, unneeded, but good work over at shortstop by Broman to make sure the ball didn't bounce into the outfield.
Kimlinger has a really quick bat, real good hands that follow through on that swing.
He was part of the U23 program, but I don't think ever, according to, and I have to credit USA Softball for one thing in particular. Their bios are outstanding.
Do a very good job.
Well, this guy's starting to come into his own. 4 for 14 last year as a member of then LC Ostrander. They're now the Ostrander Norsemen, or is it still the same?
No, I think it's still Ostrander Norseman, LLC.
It was, okay.
Yeah.
It's listed differently this year.
Yes.
When you look it up. I figured it was, but Kimlinger takes high, and Robinson, for the first time in the game, struggling and battling a little with control. He's walked back-to-back batters to start the top of the third inning. And trouble upcoming with Turkelson in the leadoff spot. He flew out to left field, and Curtis Roots, his first time up today.
Asking for real trouble walking 8 and 9 batter here.
Excellent work on the attempted bunt, as stretching towards the other side that he was moving away from that side, but recovered nicely. So Robinson helping his own cause, and Turkelson unable to get the bunt down. It's not really a pop, almost a line back to the pitcher for out number 1. And there's a play we might reflect back on as the game continues, but still lots of opportunity for the Lumberjacks to come in Federico Etter. He popped up to the opposing shortstop, Josh Broman, his first time, and swings and misses on the rise ball for strike 1.
Going to be so important for Robinson in this Waterdown Hammer team. Shut the door here.
Robinson has 4 strikeouts early in the game. Back-to-back walks has him in a bit of a jam. And he stays up, and that time too much so, as laying off of it was Etter.
Robinson with 43 pitches so far in the game.
Been very effective through 2. Two-time All-World player, Federico Etter. And he had a mighty cut, but missed on what looked to be one of those 3 level drops that you talked about earlier in the broadcast.
It really falls off that table.
Eder was a member of the JB Bombers at the tournament last year. 6 for 17. His best ever year at this event was a member of the Circle Tap Dukes in 2019 when he went 10 for 19 on his way to one of those all-world selections, but goes down swinging on another quality pitch. There's credit Clayton Robinson for bouncing right back. He helped himself with a nice grab on a bunt attempt and then down and in, as we just had another look at, to get Eder.
It's a great squeeze there by Nick Moore as that ball just slightly ticked off his bat, Eder's bat.
Cody Pannebecker steps in the number 3 hole in the lineup. And that couldn't have missed the mark by very much.
Nick Moore does a good job of framing pitches back there.
That's a very underrated skill.
Exactly, yeah. If you can pull in a few pitches here and there, that catcher will forever be in your good books.
And it's always an interesting note with a runner at second. And if you watch Eder, you know he's peeking in. And sometimes it's how they tilt a shoulder. Sometimes it's how you step on the bag.
You see it in the shot there.
To try to give the batter a little heads up. Ball and a strike, and Pannebecker, whether he knew that was coming or not, missed it. As the Robinson rise has been beneficial to the Waterdown Hammer starting pitcher. As he grabs that gorilla rag for grip, and now asks for time and wipes the sweat off his brow. AWP, the Lumberjacks, they won the coin toss but elected to bat first.
You don't see that every day.
You do not. And Pannebecker wasn't expecting that by the reaction. That's quite a response to starting an inning with 2 straight walks, as the Hammer giving AWP all they can handle in this must-win affair at the 2024 ISC World Tournament.
The annual Boys of Summer Tournament is held every July at the Circle Tap Bar and Grill in Denmark, Wisconsin. We host some of the top teams in the game at one of the best venues in softball. The atmosphere of old-time fast pitch with all of the amenities of a full-service bar and grill in the grounds can't be beat. Reduced-rate hotels about 10 minutes from the park are available in Green Bay. To bring your team to the annual Boys of Summer Tournament next July, contact Dean Kane at deankane16@gmail.com. Thanks to Circle Tap for their support of the broadcast program.
Joe, I feel like I've said this in every game that we've called together. We're in the middle of another good one.
Yes.
And that hasn't always been the case, and there have been a couple that we've done early in the tournament that were lopsided, but basically for us since Saturday, or I guess Sunday, but even on Saturday we had a couple of good ones.
Great ones. And they're going to get better every day now from here on in. You look forward to Wednesday. It's kind of the hump day where the teams kind of separate the good and the bad.
Well, we're down to 14. 36 began the quest. After this game, it'll be 13, and then the next one, now we're into the final 12. Curtis Roots, the batter. The left fielder, as Kilpatrick evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Roots is from Mildmay, Ontario. 3 for 11 at Softball City. The changeup is up, but out of the zone, and a full count. I know you always have these answers. Do you know where Mildmay, Ontario is?
Mildmay would be about 10 miles to the west of Milverton.
Very nice.
Anna Mae's restaurant. Never been to Anna Mae's?
Never.
Oh, you've got to get out more.
Look at me. I look like I've been at every restaurant that was ever made.
I know I am.
I shouldn't sell myself quite that short. A pop-out to Olheiser as Roots makes the first out of the inning. And here's Dave Barraclaw, the third baseman. Dave is 1 for 7. And that one hit drove in 3 runs in their opening game loss against the Pueblo Bandits. This lifted towards center field, and Frank Kimlinger, makes that look routine because for the most part it was. And there's now 2 away. The wind can be very tricky in this ballpark. It has a tendency to swirl around, and I find there's a real difference between night and day with how the wind affects the ball here, how it carries. Right back at Kilpatrick off the bat of Broman. The Nibbler's starting to get on a roll.
Yes.
He has set down 7 straight.
Dreamcatcher, inch by inch, we'll fight to make the lives of First Nations people in this community, this province, and on this continent better. I know we have a long way to go, but I'm proud to say as long as our people have a need, Dreamcatcher will be there for them.
Jonathan Lynch, Federico Olheiser, and Cisco Sabate are the batters due up for the AWP Lumberjacks. There's only been 1 hit in the game, and it belongs to the leadoff batter in the top of the 4th, Jonathan Lynch, from St. Joseph, Missouri. That's how they like to say it.
Missouri?
Missouri.
With an A on the end of it.
Kind of, yes. It's not really...
Missouri.
It's not I, and it's not like an E. It's more like Missouri. 2-time All-World member. Was with Hill United last year and had a really good tournament. He was 8 for 15. He had 4 multi-hit games and 4 multi-RBI games with the Hill United Chiefs.
Great addition here for AWP Lumberjacks.
3 for 11 now in the tournament. On the ground to Broman. 1 away.
That's twice now that Jonathan Lynch has gone to the left side of the infield. or to that left side of the whole field, really, because that's where a single went back in the second inning.
First time it worked out really well. This time, not quite so well. Olizer from Argentina. He struck out against Clayton Robinson, who has 6 of those in the game. And delivers strike 1 with a first pitch. And number 8 will tell you what he thought.
I don't think he agreed.
I don't think I have to.
Steve Gallagher from Coburg, Ontario, the home plate umpire.
And I think the gentlemen have done just a fabulous job this week.
Yeah, the whole crew has.
Shout out to them. They get so little credit and due, but everybody finds them when something isn't right. I know that.
Oh, yes. They're the first ones that get blamed.
Not a lot of pats on the back in that world either, but they take their craft so seriously. Just like anything else, Joe, the best of the best work at it so diligently. They study pitchers and batters and, to give themselves the best chance. Olizer trying to give himself the best chance, and he put it off the tent. A home run for Federico Olizer has given AWP a 1-0 lead.
A lot of power in that upper body strength of Olizer, driving that ball the other way, knocking it off the roof of the breakfast tent where we had the ISC Hall of Fame breakfast just on Sunday morning.
And with the flags blowing in that direction, at least that's what it looks like from our vantage point. You get it up in the air that way, it's got a chance. And it more than had a chance. It leaves the yard, and Olizer has his team on the board first with his second home run at Softball City, as he homered in their most recent victory over the Emory Electric Chargers. That was a lopsided 12-2 affair, as Robinson mixes in a rare change of pace to Sabate. So the deadlock, Joe Todd, is broken. And see if hitting will be more contagious. It was just their second hit of the game. There's only been 2 total.
And both gone off field.
One just went a lot farther.
Yes.
Sabate, see if he can ride that train. And maybe equally as important is how Clayton Robinson responds from giving up his first real solid. Lynch made pretty good contact on his hit, but Robinson's given them a very good start to the game. And it's been that way for him in the entire tournament so far. There's this pounded foul off the bat of Sabate, who really made his mark in one game in particular. Had 3, in fact, he had all 4 of his hits against Emory Electric, and his home run, and his 3 runs batted in. So he's 0 against anybody else, including striking out versus Robinson earlier in this game. Shows the change. This is playable. And
great
caught
grab
by Nick Moore.
Great grab by Moore. Watch him on the replay here. Jumping out from behind home plate, trying to track that ball down or down that fence line. Moore making a great job, picking it up over his shoulder.
More often than not, that would be the third baseman's ball.
It's a lot easier for that guy coming in.
Way easier. But out of the catcher's box in a hurry is Tyler Booley, the batter, the designated player from Champlin, Minnesota. And again, anytime I think of Minnesota, I think of a team that wears purple. And, of course, they've lost their starting quarterback for the whole year due to knee surgery. Always great to finally get a potential new star quarterback, and he doesn't even make it to game 1, i.e. the life of a Vikings fan.
Better find something else to do on Sunday.
Yeah, I have in recent years anyway. I'm usually at a hockey rink, and it can be very helpful. Saves me a lot of stress, Joe. There's Booley from Minnesota trying to hit one there that time, but swings on it and misses. As Federico Olizer has opened the scoring in this inning with a solo homer off the tent in right field. Or beyond right field would be more accurate. It is not in right field. That would be something. There can be oddities in outfields at certain parks. There's no oddity here. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Booley in search of his 3rd hit of the competition. There's Robinson with the sign. And that is a great response by Clayton Robinson after giving up the home run. A pop-up and his 7th strikeout. Now, can the Hammer find their bats? They don't have a hit yet off Brad Kilpatrick.
They have to.
For the best Bear Tent banter on the airwaves, listen to Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly. Here's some of the biggest stars chatting with 2 of Newfoundland's own, Jason Hill and Steve Mullally. It's unfiltered and uncensored. Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly, wherever you get your podcasts. Yes, bye.
Let's talk about a local one-stop shop. Live Well for Life is just that, a fitness, nutrition, and therapy facility all under one roof. Located at 3878 Wellington Street in Mitchell, Ontario, you can get so much done in just one visit. A full complement of staff on hand include chiropractic, massage, and personal training to get you back to your healthy self. Find them on the web at livewellforlifeinc.com or give
Live Well for Life, a proud sponsor of the broadcast program.
Can't see that picture often enough, Joe.
Beautiful shot.
Isn't it gorgeous? That's where we are. The ocean not very far away. You have to drive about 4 minutes into White Rock to get an even better glimpse. What the Waterdown Hammer would like would be more of a glimpse of the bases, for them to be on them.
For that to happen, they got to hit the ball or put the ball in play at least.
They've only had 1 base runner today, and that came on an error from shortstop Federico Eder of the Lumberjacks. The other Federico, Olizer, has opened the scoring with a solo home run in the previous half inning. And this is Jordy Gagnon from Saskatoon. Now, have not had a chance to ask, but I wonder if he's any relation to Tony Gagnon, who is a phenomenal quarterback at the junior level and high school level from Saskatoon at Evan Hardy Collegiate, where I just might have attended.
Oh. Well, there's a little research.
I'm not afraid. Gagnon has a base hit.
Hit her where they're not.
So the Saskatoon product has the Waterdown Hammer first hit of the afternoon. So exactly the kind of response you're looking for after giving up a run. And you mentioned this gentleman when we went through the order off the top of the show, that he can take you out of the yard in a hurry. He is Dylan Cunningham. He has 2 homers here. 1 against the Westside Jacks. That was his best day, and he's had a couple. He's 3 for 4 in that game with a home run and 4 runs batted in. Was also 2 for 4 with a run batted in their most recent win versus the Midland Explorers. Glove by Sabate. The turn in time for a 3-6 back to first double play. Nicely executed.
Very accurate throw. Nice high bounce for Cisco Sabate to pick that ball up and fire it over to Federico Eder for the double play ball. Excellent. Well done, gentlemen.
3-6-3 as Sabate started it and caught the ball to end it, and a nice turn by Eder at second base. So that puts the brakes on a potential rally for now, and Derek Erb wants to change that. And on the topic of change, that might have been the best one that has been offered out of the left hand of Bradley Kilpatrick this afternoon.
Kilpatrick with 40 pitches so far in the game.
Comes right back inside. Location, location, location. From the nibbler, as I like to call him. He'll probably be mad at me before the end of the week, but
he might buy you a package of licorice nibblers.
Oh boy, the little Twizzlers would be good right about now. Well, he's done it again. So gave up and bloop hit. Double play and a strikeout. AWP in front 1-0 after 4 in this must-win game at the ISC World Tournament.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon.
Hits and runs at a premium in this game. On this side of the bracket, it's not the winner's side.
But still good to watch.
No, still great to watch. Great matchups. And we have a couple of terrific winners bracket matchups to close out today, which I believe is day 5, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They start to go by pretty quick. Ivan Sachs hits it well, but not far away from center fielder Jordy Gagnon.
Got her on the screws, but couldn't find a hole.
A fly to 8 in the scorebook, and now Frank Kimlinger. Kimlinger walked. 6 for 9 in the tournament. Will represent his country at the upcoming WBSC group event, the final one of 3 to determine 2 more teams to play in the Men's World Cup next July. I believe it starts the 8th in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. And what a tournament that will be for anyone who is in the area, who might be watching or thinking about, hey, I'd love to watch a great fastball tournament. I'm not sure they're going to come much better than that one next year.
That will be fun to watch.
It sure will. Kimlinger underneath it. Didn't quite square it up, but wasn't far from doing so. It was handled nicely by Derek Erb with the glasses on. And that's the other thing, Joe, depending on the time of day. It can get very difficult on a sunny day. There's not a lot of cloud. That can be helpful. But it gets a little nasty at times on that side of the diamond. So a couple of flyouts. And here is the top of the order, and Valdemar Terkelsen from Copenhagen, Denmark.
I'm sure brother Freddie and mom and dad are back home tuning in, watching Baldy participate in the World Tournament again.
It's getting late there. I think the difference would be 7 or 8 hours.
6, I think.
But from here?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I think it'd be 9
8 or 9
from here.
You're right, 9. Yeah, I'm thinking base Ontario.
Yes. I'm not Brian Williams, but
yeah, close.
Well, a long ways away from there. But one of his greatest things was always his ability on the Olympic coverage to determine the time zones. Nice gentleman as well. A broadcasting legend in our country, Brian Williams. Ball and 2 strikes to Denmark's own Valdemar or Valdi Terkelsen. And he goes the other way, but well foul. Probably made its way into diamond number 3 or 4. I think that's 4.
That would be 4 to our right, or to our left. 2's to our right.
I always know where 2 is.
Yeah.
I can't get much past there. Certainly know where 1 is. I've spent a lot of time here now in the last few years, and what a pleasure and a privilege it has been, whether it's been this tournament or the Canada Cup Women's International event that I've been lucky enough to broadcast the last number of years. The Olympic qualifier back in 2019 was an absolute highlight.
About 8 years ago, Valdi Terkelsen separated his shoulder and got it back in working order, and then 2 years later separated the other shoulder.
Oof.
And from a person that, go ahead.
Well, I can tell you that his shoulder is working well enough to punch it out to right on this day, but Derek Erb makes back-to-back putouts.
We'll continue that story maybe next time he comes to the plate.
I look forward to hearing it. I'm not sure he does, though. 2 separated shoulders in 2 years, that doesn't sound fun. That looks yummy, however. Back with the bottom of the 5th, and more to feast on, if you will, from Surrey.
This business was opened in 1965 by my father, Ned Matiosi. Could have walked in here 25, 30 years ago and seen just about the same thing. The process of making a suit takes about 6 weeks. It goes through about 12 or 13 hands as it's moved along the line. It's an old-time place. Making stuff from scratch here in the city at a reasonable cost. It's a very personal type of business.
I could use a new suit. In fact, I have to officiate a wedding on the weekend.
Oh.
It's why I'm going to leave here, unfortunately, a day early. Not unfortunately, but...
Unfortunately for us.
Well, maybe. Maybe you'll be delighted when I'm not here on Championship Saturday. I'll be thinking probably more about you than the other way around. No balls and 2 strikes. But when a dear friend asks you to do that, that one's a little hard to turn down, even for me, who 99.9 out of 100 sports has always won. This time it loses. Jordan Hudson, ball and 2 strikes. The designated player today. Thought we might see him in the circle. That hasn't been the case, and for good reason. Clayton Robinson's been excellent. And this guy, on the other side of the coin, has been just a little better. Bradley Kilpatrick, who has strikeout number 6 to begin the bottom of the 5th inning. And here is second baseman Riley Cloverdale. Joe, there hasn't even really been a lot of balls in play in this game either.
One ball to the outfield so far, other than that base hit.
There were 3 balls into the outfield in the last half inning, all of them hit by AWP. There hasn't been much on the other side, as Joe was referring to, in that regard. Been a lot of pop-ups by this Waterdown Hammer team. Strikeouts, pop-ups.
Then you just start hitting that ball square on that barrel of the bat.
By my scorebook, 1 ball that an outfielder for AWP had to handle. Nobody has to handle that outside of Ivan Sachs, the catcher. So Kilpatrick up to 7 strikeouts, and he has sat down the last 3 batters that he's faced. And Nick Moore, who made a really nice defensive effort, jumping out of the catcher's box to grab a pop-up in the last half inning. He popped up to Federico Etter, the shortstop, in his only appearance at the plate today. And you use the great term, Joe. Need to start squaring something up if you can, and maybe put a couple together. They only have 1 hit.
Yeah, need to start getting some back-to-backs.
And it was a Jordy Gagnon bloop single. Lynch coming on. Etter gave way. They almost collided.
Good communication there between Lynch and Eder.
The only thing I would say, minorly, if you're going to give way, get out of the way.
Yeah.
Inning over. Another 1-2-3 inning is Kilpatrick's on a roll for AWP.
Peligro Sports provides the essentials needed to give your team an edge on the field. Our brand is rooted in creating a unique experience tailored to the specific needs of your team to ensure your performance is at the best level to execute plays. At Peligro Sports, we rally behind our athletes and understand their fight to take their game to a dangerous level. Visit our store at 2200 Amsterdam Avenue in New York City or see us online at peligrosportsnyc.com. Thanks to Jose and Peligro Sports for their support of the broadcast program.
Federico Etter, part of the crowd. Not quite as large as for the previous game, and what a great game that was today between the Toronto Batmen, who stayed alive with an extra inning victory over STK fastball from Chase, British Columbia.
It's a real great game, great pitching performance.
Yeah, on both sides, from Canadian national team member Ty Sebastian and another Saskatoon product, Nick Patrick, who pitched very, very well for STK. And STK tied the game with a run in the 7th to send it to the extras. Hello, Terry Bader. A little royalty in the booth.
Yes.
Called the World Championship in 2009 with Terry in the booth in my Sportsnet television days. That was a lot of fun getting to know Terry.
Where was that?
Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Mm-hmm. Been to your lovely town twice.
It's a pretty nice place. I'm quite fond of it. And Eder is called out as Cunningham was able to tap dance. And let's give you another look. The flip over from Clayton Robinson to Cunningham.
Mm-hmm. There's more of a push.
And now there's some anger. And I knew this had a chance to happen because there was a collision. And I'm not sure. And now and that is not friendly banter either that's happening between Eder and Cunningham over there. I don't think, anyway. And Eder's still trying to make his point about whether the bag was touched or not. Well, cooler heads will prevail, and there is one out to begin the top of the 6th inning. There's some Circle Tap Dukes fans, including, I believe, the wife of Justin Leskowski on the right of your screen.
Some of the Circle Tap girls are game changer scorers this week.
Oh, fantastic. Cody Pannebecker, he wouldn't mind changing the score. He likes where it is, but probably be fond of it a little more with a big hit, and he is capable. He's doubled and tripled in the event. Does not have a home run. Played for Team USA in the 2022 World Cup. Used sparingly, Joe. He had 4 at-bats in New Zealand. Figures to play a more prominent role, I would think, maybe even in Oklahoma City, but maybe not. It's a very gifted U.S. team with a lot of power, a lot of veteran experience. The addition of Marco Diaz to their pitching staff
makes them very solid. A big improvement in the pitching staffs.
Cody Gibbons, who actually plays for AWP, is another member of the U.S. staff. And Bradley Kilpatrick would be too, I would imagine, and would be in 2025 if they advance. And we certainly expect them to do just that. As Pannebecker makes an out. And Jonathan Lynch, who's, I think, swung it as well as anybody today. There's Justin Leskowski's mom. What a great family the Leskowskis are. Always enjoy visiting with them. Just terrific people.
Met all of them in 2018 on my trip up to Prince Albert.
Well, they are from the right part of the world in my books.
You're not impartial at all.
No, and will never not be
good
any other way. Listen, my home province takes a bath from others in this country. I'm not getting in the water.
No.
So 2 away. So we get out of the tub and back to the game. Jonathan Lynch, ball and 2 strikes. The only run off the bat of Federico Olizer, a solo shot that hit the tent beyond the right field fence.
A ball that went a long way quickly.
It carried a long way, too. Got it up in the wind. Lynch, he has his second hit of the afternoon as he gets his hands through it very quickly on the inside offering. And Jonathan Lynch's fine tournament continues. He's up to 4 hits in the tournament. 2 for 3 is Jonathan Lynch. And here's the gentleman that has supplied the most important hit. And there have only been 4 total in the game, Joe. That's just the third of the afternoon for the Lumberjacks.
Great pitching performance by both throwers.
In the last game of the day, albeit they're about to face their stiffest test, the Northeast Drillers, who are based, if you will, out of Richmond, Virginia, have a team batting average in their first 2 games of .551. Wait till you look at those numbers, as I did today in preparation for the rest of our shows. Everybody in that lineup seems to have at least 3 hits and more than 1 home run, and the home plate umpire coming out quickly to make sure. And we've already had one little altercation, or conversation would be a better way to put it, after a play at first base. Olizer, he doesn't even flinch.
No.
Hit by a pitch. Well, if the Waterdown Hammer are to pull off what would be considered an upset, they need to put the brakes on this inning right now.
Yeah, got to shut the door right here. Probably going to see a lot of drop balls, I would think.
Going to be hard enough for them, I would suspect, to get one the way Kilpatrick has been pitching today. And they only have 1 hit, a bloop single off the bat of center fielder Jordy Gagnon. Cisco Sabate wants to add some insurance. Changeup. Finds the strike zone. Do we have an insurance sponsor?
No, we do not yet.
Yet, okay. I think we should find one. That word is used too prominently. There's too many in the broadcasting world, Joe, tie-ins to use. Should always have an insurance sponsor.
You always want somebody on your side.
Yes. Do you ever? And I'm not going to tell you to get Geico either. 2 balls and a strike. Yeah, just what they need, another freebie. One of the most lucrative businesses on planet Earth, the insurance business. So somebody should step up.
Yeah.
In fact, they should pay for these broadcasts.
Obviously.
That's what I think. Well, let's make that happen before next year's World Tournament in Mankato, Minnesota.
Let's see somebody step forward.
Yes. It's a great product to be involved in. Just saying. Sabate, did he go? He didn't. And the bases are loaded. So hit by a pitch and a walk. Clayton Robinson has thrown so well today, giving up just the 3 hits. Did have back-to-back walks earlier in the game in the third, but worked his way out of it. Now it's a must for his team as he deals with designated player Tyler Booley, who tried to for sure put it away with that swing, but missed.
Robinson with 95 pitches so far in the game.
Well, here's the contest. One would have to think right here and right now. Robinson paints the outside corner and moves ahead quickly in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. L.C. Ostrander and the Circle Tap Dukes. That should be an Ed Whalen special. A ring-a-ding-dong dandy coming up next. And Booley looks at a 3rd straight strike. Huge out for Clayton Robinson and the Waterdown Hammer. Can they find some offense? It's been difficult. You can find a good snack there.
How confident are you in your organization's security posture? If your answer isn't 100%, you're not alone. Most organizations aren't doing enough to protect their data, and they know it. With Armitage Technology, you can stop worrying about IT security issues so you can focus on moving your business forward. Our experienced staff monitor and maintain your IT infrastructure to keep your business running. Visit us at armitagetech.com and make your technology work for your business.
He came from Australia with a superstar pedigree. And from his first ISC in 2003, you knew he was going to be something special. 6 times All-World, a 3-time ISC champion, and now the first Aussie inducted into the ISC Hall of Fame. From counting materials and the farm in Wisconsin, to Kitchener, to finding a home in the New York Gremlins colours. Congratulations, Jeff Goolagong, from all of us.
Curtis Roots trying to get something going for the Hammer out of a bases-loaded jam in the top of the inning. They have only 1 hit.
Kilpatrick has done a great job. Very economical on his quantity of pitches.
Now, there haven't been a lot of wasted efforts, but he does fall behind Roots, the left fielder. 2 balls and no strikes. And what Brad doesn't want here is a free pass. And he's forced to bear down for a rare time. That might be one of, if not his only, 3-0 count all afternoon long.
Yeah, yes, you are exactly correct.
But he pours in a strike to mild May, Ontario's Curtis Roots. He popped out to Federico Olizer at third, his first time today, and now rips it right up the middle.
Good start there by Curtis Roots to get something rolling for the Waterdown Hammer.
Exactly what they were hoping for, just their second hit. And it helps when you are ahead in the count, and we'll have a pinch runner is entering the game is Matt Hatch from Stratford, Ontario, as he'll run for Curtis Roots. And do you ask Dave Barraclaw to bunt?
You want my vote? It's no.
It's no? It's yes for me.
Okay.
Unless he just doesn't do it.
Yeah, I don't think he's... Well, there you go. You won. Well, hadn't executed it, but...
Okay, so in all sincerity, for you, how come in this situation?
Well, I know Dave Barraclaw is a good power hitter and can put the ball in play and sprays it everywhere. I haven't seen him doing a lot of good bunting over the years. I have seen him punch the ball out.
Well, that's great clarification. And he tries a couple of times. That one does not get the job done.
Barraclaw played quite a few years with the Shakespeare Falcons, the Mitchell Mets up in that area, up and back in my area.
No balls and 2 strikes as Kilpatrick worked outside and wanted that one. So now you're virtually out of the bunting game. And he goes right back to the same place with the same result. That one looked more outside than the 0-2 pitch was.
Try to be very careful.
Pops this one off the screen. Joe, I love having those conversations. I think, when you're calling these games, strategy and why people are doing things, your understanding of the athletes after all the years of being around. To me, that makes for great discussion.
Yeah.
On the air.
Opens it up.
On the ground, could be two. Eder barehanded to get the job done. Saw some wizardry from Federico Eder and Prince Albert for Argentina. This is one that should show up in a highlight reel. Bare hand, steps to the inside, delivers the throw.
Second double play ball the Waterdown Hammer have hit into today.
4-6-3. And don't underestimate the footwork, let alone the bare-handed throw. Pretty to watch. And that's why I wanted the bunt to get down.
Yes.
But the discussion is excellent because if you can't execute it, which, to be honest, has become a lost art.
Yes.
Even in this game.
You've got to be able to learn and willing to bunt. But the bunting hole exercise has to be taught at that minor league level. Like it can't be taught to you when you're 25.
No. Blair and I discussed this the other night on the air. And I know, in fact, I see it happening every morning at the hotel. There's tricky little one-hop for Pannebecker, who handles it well. Teams will bat almost every morning. Do you spend a lot of time executing that?
No, probably not.
The discussion continues. Another chance, and there haven't been many, go by the wayside for the Waterdown Hammer.
HRD Bat Co. owners Nick Shales and Trevor Oakes want to bring the best quality bats to baseball players all over the world. Our pro-grade wood combined with our finish process makes them some of the hardest bats with the biggest pop in the game. Customization is our specialty. We offer a variety of handcrafted models and unlimited design. Visit us at hrdbatco.com. Play hard. Swing hard.
Does your game need work? Want to get better every game? Every at-bat? You need Lumberjacks Sports, focusing on exceptional quality and providing players with reliable, long-lasting product. Lumberjacks Sports brings you in-game equipment and off-field workout gear designed and tested by top fastball player Nick Shales. Hard work, strength, and all-around commitment to getting the job done and done right is the motto for Lumberjacks Sports. Learn from the best. Play like the best. Check out lumberjacksports.ca.
Ivan Sachs hit the ball well to center field his last time up. His 5 total hits, and there's another look at what put the brakes on a potential tying run. The 4-6-3 beautifully executed double play. The second that the Lumberjacks have been involved in the contest. Say it a lot. I'm a proponent of watching great defense. And that was a special one. Barehanded by Eder, coming across the bag. Excellent footwork with his bare hand to dodge the runner. Moved to the inside and then threw a strike.
Cody Gibbons still getting some warm-up pitches down in that AWP Lumberjacks bullpen. Being ready if called upon.
The young right-hander in Gibbons. Sachs out of play. Down towards a number of members outside the fence of the Circle Tap Dukes in action in our next game against the Ostrander Norsemen. And that should be a gem. And following that contest are 2 remaining games in the Elite 8 in the winners bracket. What a pitching match. If I was away for a second or two, our apologies. Maybe a benefit for the listeners. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ivan Sachs here on the top of the 7th. One of the storylines, and it really hasn't made a significant difference, was the fact that AWP, the Lumberjacks, won the toss and elected to bat first.
AWP with 3 hits so far in the game. Waterdown Hammer with 2.
And a terrific pitchers duel between Robinson and Kilpatrick. And the 5 hits combined will tell you what a difference that the pitchers have made. Robinson with 8 strikeouts. 7 strikeouts for Kilpatrick. The damage, 1 hit. A Federico Olizer 4th inning solo homer off the tent beyond right field. Sachs for a second time will make an out, hitting the ball on the screws. This time into the glove of the left fielder, Curtis Roots.
Great grab there by Roots. Watch it on the replay here. Curtis takes a step or 2 in, charges that ball, catches it on the shoelaces there.
And a visit from the skipper,
Pete Chambers.
He really could not ask for more from Clayton Robinson. He has been terrific against a pretty talented AWP Lumberjack lineup with many national team players. Maybe not the most prominent national team players, either now, potentially in the future, or have been in the past.
Yes.
Might be the best way to put it.
It's
Some up-and-comers.
Yeah.
You know, Eder and Olizer have been around in Argentina for a long time.
You love to have all that in your back pocket.
But on paper, especially in the hitting department, didn't look like a great match coming in. But don't tell Clayton Robinson, Blair Setford, or the Waterdown Hammer that. Blair should have bought a lottery ticket today. He said he thought this one was going to come right down to it, and he nailed it 100%. Absolutely did.
In our pregame conversation, I heard Blair call them scrappy. And that's exactly how they've been playing. Now they need to scrape up a run.
Well, they have not really threatened a whole lot. Thought that might be the case in the bottom of the 6th, but a failed bunt attempt and a ground into a double play, which we have shown you on more than one occasion and might just end up on social media before the day is out. So you can see it again. Kimlinger caught looking, and Frank goes down. He's had an excellent tournament, but he's 0 for 2 today.
Robinson with 110 pitches so far.
Well, you can't ask for more. I've said it a couple of times, and it's worth repeating. He's given up 3 hits and struck out 9, and only the 1 run. There is activity. That's Reese Yancey. Warming up the left-hander is Turkelson. Takes ball 1. A miss on a changeup from Robinson, who's done a good job. Probably thrown 4 or 5 of those of the 110 plus now that he's thrown. That one's been pretty prominent.
Good little zip on that pitch there by Clayton Robinson. Turned it up a notch.
The Waterdown Hammer lost their first game in extra innings, reeled off 3 straight, and have given the Lumberjacks, who would have been the favored team, I think that's fair, coming into this contest, all they can handle and a little more, and we're not done yet. There's 2 out here, and they have 1 at bat, and they have the 2, 3, and 4 batters coming up in their lineup. As that just failed to find the strike zone to Valdemar or Valdi Turkelson. It doesn't say Valdi on the passport, I can guarantee you that. Drills it.
Oh, great.
Excellent catch by Curtis Roots, as it was squared up.
2 great grabs by Curtis Roots this inning to keep the game close.
Can they find a run? They certainly just went to the root defensively.
Let's talk about a local one-stop shop. Live Well for Life is just that, a fitness, nutrition, and therapy facility all under one roof. Located at 3878 Wellington Street in Mitchell, Ontario, you can get so much done in just one visit. A full complement of staff on hand include chiropractic, massage, and personal training to get you back to your healthy self. Find them on the web at livewellforlifeinc.com or give
Live Well for Life, a proud sponsor of the broadcast program.
To the bottom of the 7th we go in this 1-0 AWP Lumberjacks lead. To the winner, their tournament hopes alive. To the loser, it's the end of the road.
Neither team looking forward to that.
Jordy Gagnon is the batter, the Waterdown Hammer center fielder, and he has one of their 2 hits in the game. That occurred his last time up in the bottom of the 4th. Now it's the 7th.
Gagnon hits the ball fairly square right up the middle of the field.
Well out in front of the change that time.
Went after a bad pitch there.
As Kilpatrick pulls the string on the change.
Just needs a little more plate discipline now.
Ball and 2 strikes. And the nibbler does just that. Nibbles on the outside corner for strike 3 and out number 1. His 8th strikeout of the afternoon. And if there is a batter in this lineup capable of changing the momentum with one swing, I would have to think it's this guy. But on his first pitch, he grounds out to Cody Pannebecker. As Cunningham didn't give himself much of an opportunity.
Yeah, I think I would have looked at a few more pitches.
But if you like it.
Yeah, I think it jammed him on the hands.
It absolutely did. And a pinch hitter with 2 out in Devin Carson. This is never an easy spot. I always feel for anyone put in this position. Your tournament's hanging in the balance. You're down to your last out. And now my name is called?
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. And one pitch later, it's all over. Bradley Kilpatrick outduels Clayton Robinson. AWP, the Lumberjacks move on, and congratulations. It has been a nice run, albeit it comes to an end for the scrappy, and I'll use it too, Waterdown Hammer, who lost their opening game, Joe, in extra innings to the Pueblo Bandits, ran off 3 straight, and they gave everything that AWP could handle and maybe a little bit more, but wind up on the short end of a 1-0 score.
A great pitching performance by Brad Kilpatrick. 75 pitches over 7 innings. Just gave up the 2 hits, recorded 8 strikeouts, and no walks. Kept the bases clear.
Forget about nibbling. I'm going to start calling him Ernie Efficient. The Lumberjacks move on to play another day. For the Hammer, time to enjoy. Well, gents, our next game, the Ostrander Norsemen and the Circle Tap Dukes. Tune in for that one. It should be an excellent contest as well. For our entire crew, so long for now from Softball City.
For the latest in softball innovation, the website where you can experience the best tournaments in the Americas. Live games, news, tournaments, and much, much more. The best quality live softball, on demand so you can watch when you want. Become a Premier member now. SoftballPremierTV.com